Good, doing great.
And let me ask you a question, right? How does it feel to kind of still be here, starting back in the '80s and becoming? Did you ever think you was going to be a legendary trainer?
Well, the key to the mark of success is longevity, I guess. So the test of time is probably the greatest test that there is. So, you know, we're trying to live that one out. So no, I've been in New York, you know, kind of a regular since '87, and things have gone well, and we're still in business. We still, you know, one of my goals is to try to stay in the top 10 every year, and I figure if you're in the top 10 in the nation while you're still in action, and we've been very lucky to have good horses, good people, good owners. We've got a good crew that keeps us going and keeps me going. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun and very rewarding.
And what was them early moments for you that knew that you was going to be in this life forever? What got you started?
Well, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, when I started, I had no goals really. I just, you know, I was passionate about horses. I was passionate about horses. Then I became passionate about racing because it was competitive, and I loved competition, and I loved horses. So between the two of them, I mean, it was a perfect match for me for what I wanted to do. I mean, you know, I think first of all, I really enjoy being around horses, and I like the activities in the mornings and being around, and I love being around the people. I love being around the people that take care of the horses.
And what was like that first horse that kind of like you knew was special to you?
One of my first horses that I trained I was 15 years old. I mean, she was a $300 purchase that her name was My Assets, and you know, first time I ran her, she dead heated for the win, and I think after that, you know, I was hooked forever. You know, it's been very exciting for me. I mean, and nothing was more exciting than those first days with a $300 horse. I mean, nothing could have been more exciting for me. I just loved you know, like I say, I loved the competition, and I loved the challenge of trying to win.
And me combing through these barns, right, I asked a lot of guys their favorite horse, right? And Cigar is a horse that come up a lot for a lot of people, right? And what you remember about Cigar?
Well, he was very good to me, obviously. I mean, we got him in you know, he was already a 4-year-old, and got him ready, and you know, we tried him 3-4 times on the grass, which he came to us, and he had been running on the turf and had been running fairly well, but he didn't do very well for us. And we just trying to go through the process of elimination, we said, well, we better try him on the dirt one time, and the rest is history. I mean, he won his first race on the dirt for us and kept going. He won, you know, a total of 16 in a row, and you know, just a wonderful horse, very consistent, very, you know, every time you let him over there, he gave it to you.
One of the greatest horses that you didn't train was Primal Force, and she went on to build an empire, starting just as a broodmare.
Yeah, well, I remember Primal Force. I had her, she was a Blushing Groom filly that I trained for the Firestones, for Mr. and Mrs. Bert Firestone, and they're the people that brought me to New York, and Primal Force was in one of those first groups that I got for the Firestones. And you know, just a medium-sized filly with a tiny little foot on her, and she could really run, but she turned out to be a much better broodmare. Obviously, she's the Dam of Awesome again, and Macho Uno. So she turned out to be a very good broodmare.
Yep. And you know, a few of your other beginners was Chief Honcho and Shannon Blank and some of those horses, and I remember them very well. And they were just tough horses with Firestone, right?
Yeah, they were you know, Chief Honcho and Shannon Blanc were some of the first out of the first groups. You know, we had Theatrical, Shannon Blanc, then of course there was Paradise Creek, 𝐏𝐿𝐒, who, you know, won the Flower Bowl for us. So, you know, the Firestones were very good to me, and I got, you know, very good horses for them, and they're the ones that gave me the jump start in New York to give, you know, they gave me the opportunity to prove myself in New York, and that's something that I'd always wanted to do. I mean, I'd done well before I came to New York. I was doing fine, but I wanted to be able to prove myself in New York, and they gave me that chance.
And you know the name of this program, right, is The Real Players Inside the Backstretch. And how important is these guys and women that work for you back here?
Oh, I mean, I've got a wonderful crew. I mean, I've had they're the backbone of the whole thing. I've got guys that have worked for me 15, 20 years, and you know, they've been here, they've gone home, they've come back, they've been a very integral part of what I do, and they're my support group, and I really have an affection for these people, because I know what they do, I know how hard they work, I know the hours that they put in, and the dedication, and not only the dedication but the love of the horses and the animals. And I think I'm very lucky to probably have one of the best crews on the racetrack. I know there's a lot of good people around, but I think I've got some very, very good ones.
Hey, thank you, sir.
All right.
Yep.
And we're going to continue this one at a later date.
Okay.
Part 2.